The following is an overview about the failure mode and effects analysis. The FMEA, in short, is a systematic and forward-looking analysis method. It is used to identify potential failure modes, evaluate their impact, and prioritize mitigations. The FMEA can involve the system of the product, this is the product level, as well as the system that creates the product. These involve the processes or also the production. The first step is usually to identify a failure mode by asking the question on how a system, component, or process could fail. The effect, on the other hand, is what is caused by the failure mode in terms of user experience or system behavior, which is usually negative. As a core concept of the FMEA, the failure mode and effect gets analyzed by the following aspects. First, the severity, which is the impact of the failure on the system and the user. Then the occurrence, which is the likelihood of a failure appearing. And finally, the detection, which is the ability and chance of the current systems in place to detect the issue before the release. Each of these aspects is given a value between 1 and 10, and by multiplying the three of them, a risk priority number, or in short RPN, is calculated. The higher the number, the higher the risk of the specific failure mode is. The evaluation of the risk in each aspect can be improved by the following measures. You can increase your system understanding and the decomposition of it. Because of course, the more insight you have in the system, the better you can estimate risks and identify the aspects of severity, occurrence, and the detection rate. Also, as one person usually cannot be the expert for everything, it also makes sense to involve cross-functional experts to gather further insights and feedback about the FMEA. And if available, it of course makes also sense to take past experiences into account for the risk analysis. Usually more than one failure mode per system is identified and can be reflected in a table. The table allows then also to prioritize the mitigation and failure modes easily by sorting them according to the highest RPN. Here is an example of an FMEA for the context of a robotic system. There are 3 different failure modes, and looking at the middle one, which is an incorrect object classification, which is caused by a machine learning model issue. The effect here is quite severe and was estimated as a 9 because the robot can take wrong navigation decisions. The occurrence and detection was judged at a medium level, but the RPN compared to the others is also quite high. So it makes sense to start with mitigation measures here. There are some general mitigation possibilities you can look at as potential solutions. For example, you have, of course, always the ability to do a system redesign or also to, on a software level, add some robustness measures. Then there could be some redundancy strategies implemented to make sure that the failure do not lead to a complete system breakdown. And another important point is that the FMEA also helps in terms of test planning, and that failure modes with a high risk could have some additional test focuses or additional test cases. And there can be also some monitoring and diagnostics measures implemented. So coming back to the example, what could be implemented as mitigations is listed here on the right side. So for example, for the incorrect object classification, there can be additional validation data sets or to add some confidence threshold.